What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this episode of the Gulls Nest. Of course, I am ID84. We have my sidekick and baseball partner of crime, Adam Mallett.
Alan.
Alan
Oh,
Mallett. Adam
yeah, name
Mallett.
change over the weekend. Yes,
I
thank you.
know.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Adam Mallett with us. And also tonight, we have media director of the Newport Gulls. We have Mike Basile joining us again. What's up, Mike?
What's up? Thanks for having me. I know we got some things to talk about here, so I was more than happy to hop on and get chatting again.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
So as we touched off last episode, we're kind of going over the inductees of the Hall of Fame, but we have Mike with us tonight. So we thought we'd ask you and kind of break down the Hall of Fame, see how it was, things you took from it, things that wish were different, things I don't know in general, like how the whole night went as a whole.
Give us the play-by-play.
It was a ton of fun. I know. Wish you guys could have been there. I know. It's a trip for you guys, and I heard Adam wasn't feeling too good, so it's all right to miss it. But getting to see the inductees. I mean, it was a load of fun. To be a part of it and to really get to meet them and see them outside of baseball is really cool too. And it's something that doesn't get to happen often. So it was a really cool event and really fun to be a part of.
That's cool. It's like such a great yearly event that goes on, and it gets to highlight people that, a lot of these guys haven't played for years. So it was nice probably bringing them back and kind of getting them back with all the old teammates and, people from the organization and everything.
So did all the inductees make it to the ceremony?
Yeah, everyone was there, all
Awesome.
7 inductees, which obviously, everyone's coming from all over. So it was really cool to see everyone. I got to conduct the interviews beforehand.
Oh, nice.
And hearing their stories, either what they're doing now or how they got to Newport. Like, reading it is one thing, right, when you're doing the research on these guys, but hearing it from them is another. And it was really cool to hear some of their stories of being drafted, playing summer ball, coming to the Gulls, obviously, spending time at their colleges. A lot of like East Carolina, I remember, like, a lot of really good D1 programs these guys were coming from. And, to hear their stories and everything was pretty awesome, pretty incredible, honestly.
The videos you guys put together for the ceremony were actually really, really cool. Adam and I went through them all as we were prepping for the next couple shows. And it was nice hearing some of those stories from people from around the team and, just what their input was on how, they were as a player, as they were as a person. It was pretty impressive how everything was put together.
Yeah, huge credit to Tom Lima on that. Me and him went from place to place, invited people to the office to get the testimonials, and Tom was working night and day to clip pictures, get the video, things like that. So a lot of credit to Tom there, because he really worked hard to get those to perfection. And they were awesome. Getting to watch those, I know it's emotional looking back on your time from years ago. And to hear all the high praise for those 7, is incredible. For the players, obviously, getting it from everywhere, but for Coach Coombs and Nick, who were obviously such a huge part of this organization for such a long time, to see what they did for this team, it was just really incredible to see all the work that they put in, and especially what Nick did to get the broadcasts going, and to see where it is now from how hard they worked to be on ESPN Plus now last year, to have some games on there. It's incredible, and kudos to those guys.
Yeah, last week we talked about Nick. We went through pretty much you guys touched on the video about how he just was a high school kid who brought all this equipment to the park.
Very fascinating.
In the back of his car, a bunch of guys setting up every game, taking it down every game, and just doing it for the love of the art of broadcasting, I guess, right?
We were saying how that just kind of takes a lot of guts too. Like, he didn't even really know much about baseball. It was just like, you know what, we're gonna use all this equipment. I'm just gonna go do it. Pretty much what it felt like. And
yeah, I think that's the Newport Gull way. it's such a family environment. And I know you hear that all the time, and I feel like it gets thrown around so often, but it's really true. I mean, like you said, Nick coming to do that, I mean, that was just, incredible. He was like, I'm going to set this up. We're going to make this good. And then it seemed like him and Tom, knowing Tom and getting to meet Nick, there was no, it's just going to be okay. It's getting
Yeah.
done, and it's getting done the right way is the Lima way. So, I mean, having worked with Tom last year, and like I said, now getting to meet Nick,
Yeah.
it's no question why everything is where it's at now, and why the Gulls are where they're at. On the media side, it's because of those two, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can answer this because I'm kind of intrigued by Nick and his just kind of ballsiness to go out there and do this without not knowing much about baseball. But why that? Because he didn't know much about it. So you would think he would just try to jump into something that he has some knowledge on. So what made him pick baseball to just dive into that? I'm just curious,
I don't actually have the answer to that. I wish I did, but I mean, he
Yeah.
like they said, coming down from Tiverton, throwing stuff in the van, and pretty much just setting up and going. I know they had a station at school, so I know that's how they got involved in the production and broadcast side of things. But to bring it to Newport and really do such an incredible job for the Gulls for so long, I mean, that shows what type of commitment he had to it once he got started. Obviously, he learned the game really well, broadcast NECBL All-Star games. So, he became the top dog in the NECBL.
Yeah, to me it was like a great hobby that he had, like working and like doing in school, and it was like, hey, I like two things. I like broadcasting, I like baseball. Let's put them together, see what we could do. And basically that's what happened, and he made it work, and which is awesome. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's not a lot of not a lot of places would even allow a kid like that to even do that, which I thought was pretty impressive for you guys, just to be like, hey, we'll give you guys a shot, see how it does. If it goes great, awesome. If not, hey, all right, we at least tried. You know what I mean? At the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the funniest testimonial video, with them joking around about, when he first started. Oh, that's on the outside corner, inside corner. That was pretty funny. And then, hearing his at bat in the in the All-Star game, where they, said he had the funky batting stance. So, but yeah, again, it just goes to show with Chuck, Chris, and all those guys that if you're gonna put in the work, the Gulls are going to show appreciation, and they got a great one in Nick Lima. Whether it comes to the broadcast side, the setup side, and just with Tom as well, making sure, like I said, there's no, hey, we're just going to get it done. It's getting it done and doing it the right way, or it's not getting done. And
Right.
that's how it is with them. And I know from knowing the staff and everyone that's the Newport Gulls way, period. They're going to raise the bar, and they're going to make sure they do it to their best ability.
Right. Which is awesome. And it's the way it should be. I mean, if someone's passionate about something like that, and perfection is always the premier of how you want to get things done, I think. And so, which is great because it basically was just an amateur broadcast turned pretty much professional at this point with ESPN Plus, which is pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
that was a very fascinating one that we were looking into. And then we touched last week on Coach, and the videos with him and him getting thrown out of the games, all that. They're so passionate about everything, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, getting to interview Coach Coombs was a whole lot of fun. Nick Lima's done it for so many years, I know, but I mean, you guys chatted with him too, obviously.
Yeah.
There's nobody like Coach Coombs. He's one of a kind, that's for sure. But I mean, all the championships he's won, the great players he's coached, and really what's most impressive to me is what he got out of his guys. I mean, it seemed like every year the Gulls were competitive. Even if they didn't make the playoffs, they were fighting for a playoff spot. He just took the team to a new level, and obviously winning so many championships, and just what he did for the Gulls was incredible. And getting to chat with him about his time, he had so many stories, whether they be funny, whether they be about what he did with the team. But yeah, I mean, how long he was with the team as the manager, that's not a normal amount of time. He was there for so many years, and usually you see a couple of years head coach and then someone else. But I mean, Coombs just took over, and he stayed with the team for quite some time. Clearly,
He clearly loved what he was doing when he was with the team, and that shows by just the passion he had, like, and the testimonials from players and people that had worked around him, how much of an impact he was to them, further in their career or just in life in general. Just because you're playing baseball, at this level, doesn't mean you're going to do it professionally, but you'll take a lot of life goals and a lot of stuff you learn from the game into your regular life, and that comes from how you coached and players, your teammates and stuff like this. And I think coach was probably a type of guy that almost every player, if not all the players who's ever played for him, will be able to take something into their life, and use it in a positive manner, just based on their playing time with him.
right? No, I 100% agree. I mean, he's the guy who's going to make an impression on you, and it's always pretty much going to be for the better. I mean, like I said, I think the most impressive thing is seeing what he got out of his teams summer in and summer out. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do understand Newport's a destination for a lot of players where they want to play, but getting the talent and then seeing it out on the field come together is different. I mean, these guys don't play 6 months together. It's 2 months and they're gone. So to get the players to mesh like that so quickly and put up so many winning seasons is impressive in itself.
Even professional players need 6 weeks in spring training to
right.
mesh with each other, right?
Yeah, right.
Just before, and then even when you start the season, it's probably a good 4 weeks to about like Memorial Day till the team gets their jive together. So to be able to throw a bunch of guys together and say, "Hey, listen, nice to meet you. We're starting next week, and we're playing for 6 or 7 weeks, 8 weeks through the summertime. So we better figure this out quick, or we're gonna be in trouble,
Yeah, I mean, this year I think it was one practice and then it was first game. So
Oof.
yeah,
It's
Wow.
amazing.
So now with the Hall of Fame kind of in the rearview mirror here, like, is there kind of like a sense of that was fun, but a little bit of relief, and it's like, okay, now on to what's next? Like what's next
I
now?
think so. I mean, like I said, it was an incredible event. 300 plus people came. The support we got was incredible. And like I said, being a part of it, conducting the interviews, running the screens, the projectors we had in there, was just really, really, really special to be a part of. And seeing the community in Newport come together for those, not only those 7 guys, but the team as well. It was awesome. Had the highlight video running from last year, which was fun to watch, relive some of the memories of last summer. But yeah, I mean, now I think it's a few weeks past, and I think now we got our eyes set on another championship and getting ready for summer. Having production meetings and things like that, getting the media rolling back again towards gearing the way of announcements for the summer, what we got going on, and things like that, and getting grooving, because before we know it, it's going to be June.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the Hall of Fame and all that stuff, so 300 plus people. So who attends the Hall of Fame usually? So obviously players who are being inducted, probably former players, some staff of the team, family, and all that stuff. But I mean, it was a significant amount of people to show up for.
I mean, it was awesome. I saw fans from this past summer. We had staff coming to to the event to be a part of it. We had staff there to help, obviously, as well, but we had sponsors from the season, who got a big table together and all enjoyed the event, the cocktail hour, the silent auction that was going on. I mean, like you said, family of the inductees, friends of the inductees, players of the inductees, players who played with the inductees, I should say. And yeah, just some local support in the Newport community, just fans, supporters of the team. There were so many people there. The sponsors who, came out to the event and made it as special as it was. A big thank you to them. But I mean, yeah, I'm probably forgetting people. There was so many people. Obviously, Mike Falcone, our director of operations, his family, not only there, but DJ Dennis was running the music. His father, his brother's there, his mother's at the event. So the support from the staff, the family of the staff and things like that was incredible. And, a shout out to Salve, who helped us, get some equipment roll and things like that. The Marriott was awesome with helping us get things set up on that day. We were rolling in with cars full of media equipment, and they're just, oh, you could leave this here, leave that there. So a big shout out, because it was a big community event that a lot of people put a big leg forward to.
Yeah, it sounds like it from what we've seen. Obviously not being able to attend, but from everything we looked at after the fact, it was pretty impressive. Like, so the night goes on, people roll in, silent auctions, people hanging out. So basically, you're probably running around like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to hit every point of the place as fast as you and more efficiently as you probably can, right?
It was so cocktail hour was first, and while cocktail hour was going on, we started with our interviews. So for the first hour and a half, it was interviews of Coombs, the inductees, Lima, one of the governors, one of the governors or mayor, I believe, was there. Interviewed him. So it was a really calm start, I'll say, because I was just sitting in the chair and the interviewers were, and the interviews were coming there. And then once we got towards dinner and getting the main room ready, that's when it got hectic a little bit. Getting everyone into the room, getting the inductees on stage and starting to get rolling with that, making sure all the video was going to run at the right time. That's when I was like, okay, got to be on your A game here.
Right.
Make sure you're focused and zoned in.
It's like a wedding. It's like you got to get from one.
Yeah, right.
I've DJ'd tons of weddings, and it's basically like coordinating from this point then to this point, and then corralling the people to go to one way to another, and it gets a little stressful. And cues, you got to make sure everything's hitting your cues when a guy goes on. You're playing the video before, you got to make sure the video is running. You make sure the sound. Oh yeah, I can just imagine.
Yeah, John Perrick was the master of ceremony, and it's like, waiting for his cues for things, making sure you hit it at the right time, making sure that video doesn't play too late, doesn't play too early, nobody's waiting on the videos. So yeah, it was like a wedding, I would say. Yep, in the big ballroom, just making sure everybody and everything is rolling on the right time, and it really, I have to say, for all the moving parts and for how many people are there, I really think the staff overall, the interns, and everyone, it went off pretty flawlessly.
That's pretty cool. There you go. That's all you can hope. At the end of the night, you just sit there and your legs are like jello, and you're like, "Thank God this is over," because of all this. Because you can remember all the time.
Like 10:30, 10:45, probably closing at 11, honestly. And we were starting to pack up, and we were just like, whew. You could hear the collective sigh, like, that went well, and now they're inducted. It was a great night. Let's get ready for summer baseball.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure there's a rehearsal process and all that.
Yeah, it's a lot too. With the, making sure the videos are shot well. Do we have to reshoot anything? Are we getting the best clips of these players? Are we getting their best moments from Newport? So, I mean, shout out again to Tom, because just going back and finding video, Shannon, as well, who is his fiance, was also, in and out of videos, in and out of clipping pictures. So, there were a lot of late nights, I'm sure, there of throwing some videos together and cutting clips. So, it was a big stress relief when it was over, and especially to know that the night went so well.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, the production value of it, I would think, would be just the time, not so much time put into it prior to one night event. It's just it's amazing, and it's a relief, and it feels there's probably quite a bit of gratitude once it's done. That it's finally done, and everyone was celebrated in the way that the team wanted them to be celebrated for their accomplishments over the years, which is great. And it's, and like you said, it's on to the summer ball, now on to getting the rosters together, off to planning what we're going to be doing for the summertime, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. Now, this is obviously, I think we touched on it before, but something you guys do every year, right? For the Hall of Fame?
I believe, so with COVID, I know it got thrown for a loop. But I think it's not every year for sure. I think they try and do it every other.
Okay.
But with COVID, this was the first one since 2019.
And how do the people get nominated, or at least, or is there a process in there? Is it
Yeah, good question.
just going through rosters of the past and, looking at people who really impacted the team? Is it talking to people that worked or were a part of the team's coaching and facilities to be like, this guy I think needs to be put on display here because of all his accomplishments in the past?
So I think it's the board
Okay.
that'll vote and put their requests in, and then I think the it's like anything where it's like if they get the most votes or picks for their name, I think they'll be inducted in. So yeah, I mean the the board is the ones who have been here since the beginning, so they have seen all the players from day one in 2001 to 2023, the season that just ended. So they would know best, who was, the top players from those summers. And, just again, looking at the class this year and seeing, some of these guys getting drafted, to Mark Appel playing in the MLB. So Brett Graves in the MLB. It was almost like, yeah, this definitely makes sense. These are the guys who should be up here.
Just out of curiosity, how many people are on the board?
I believe it's 5.
Okay. The board. Whenever I hear stuff like that, I'm like, oh, it's an Illuminati.
The board, right?
Like no, they're real. They're real.
Organization, the board.
And who? And just so we all have an idea of like the organization, who gets put on the board and how do you get on the board? Is it just working for the team, or is it just?
That's the board. I should have clarified. It's the ownership group.
Ownership group. Okay,
So
all right, that makes sense.
Yeah, I obviously could have said it that way, and then there would be no Illuminati.
I would just picture this like cave in Newport. Yeah, they'll just meet once a year and they go through all their invoices and
all that's playing is old film from the Gulls in the
that's right. 24/7, and it's on reel to reel too. So it's like really, that would be something though. Imagine that would be. So Hall of Fame's over. We're media guy, head the media, Mike. What's up? What should we be looking for prior to opening day?
I think one of the more exciting things to come is our roster announcements. I think those are going to start rolling out shortly. Okay. I think that'll get the fans really fired up. I know, summer baseball, the players are here for 2 months, but they do such a great job in the community with the fans, whether it be, signing autographs, interacting with them pregame, just seeing them out in the community. I think it's really exciting when the Gulls are in town. I think with it being the summer in Newport, and it's already exciting that, the beach and everything there and all the things to do. And then you have the Gulls playing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. When the Gulls are going to be playing, and to see the roster get released and to slowly, start to do some research on these guys, get excited for them. Oh, what did they do over the summer? What did they do during their collegiate season? I think that's when the fans really start to get fired up for the season to get going.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth into that. Well, you already
sure. Yeah, Adam and I have been chomping on the bit here, waiting for the roster up, because we basically what our game plan is for this offseason, once we get through all the Hall of Fame stuff, is to literally go through the roster. And what we would want to do is try to get as much information on these guys as possible, and just kind of break things down and kind of give an assessment of what we think and how we think the season will go based on who's on the team. So that's what we're getting excited for. That's statistics, baseball side of us coming out.
Everything's on the internet. I will deep dive everybody.
Yeah, no, that's when it gets really fun. I mean, for me last year, I joined pretty late, so I was looking everybody up at just looking everyone up, going through, and when you start to see some of these schools like Vanderbilt, Georgia, Mississippi State, you're like, oh, okay, this is no joke D1. This is some of the top end players in the entire country. So I mean, it's really cool to start doing your research, and you're like, oh, okay, this guy was all SEC last year. That's good to know. Definitely keep an eye on him this year. Second team All-American. Got to keep an eye on him. So, yeah, it's pretty cool to roll through that.
when you start seeing SEC college baseball players, that gets me excited right there. Because
Yes,
those,
yeah,
to me, I think those are some of the best baseball play. It's some of the best collegiate baseball players in the entire country. Now, obviously, there's other occasions in other leagues, but I think the SEC, for some reason, I don't know if it's just because of its location in the country and it's so baseball driven and oriented down there in the Southeast. And it's something you can play all year round, basically down there. I don't know what it is about the SEC, but they produce some of those baseball teams are absolutely amazing.
yeah. I mean, it's. I think it starts with the environment. Like you see some of those stadiums in the SEC, and you're like, oh my gosh, like
It's
that's
better than, yeah.
almost matching an MLB stadium right there. And I think that's where the excitement of those games, and the fan base down there in the South. I mean, they love baseball, and rightfully so. When you get to watch, like you just said, SEC, some future MLB stars, and it's pretty cool to say, hey, I've seen these guys play in college more than my fair share of times. So,
Yeah.
yeah, just the environment seems so different. Watching those games on TV when it comes down to, conference tournament time, and you just see there's not an empty seat, there's standing
Right.
room only. It's incredible baseball.
The Southeast is a unique place for baseball too, because you got to figure there's one team basically representing for professionals the entire Southeast, and it's the Braves, right? And these guys love ball down there. You got probably 7 or 8 states that make up that area too.
Yep.
And I know baseball is hardcore down there. I know people move down there when their kids show a little bit of talent just so they can play all year round. And if you look at some of the best baseball players that come out into the major leagues, a lot of them are from the Southeast. And it's because of that. It's because of the ability to play all year round. Just like the best hockey players come from the Northeast, right? Well, Canada, because you can skate all year round, right? It makes
Yep.
sense. Your environment's
It's
based
true.
on, the ability to play the sport as much as possible and just get better at it, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting. I can't wait for the rust to come out. Because I want to say, because I watch a lot of college baseball, so I'm curious to see if there's any guys I follow. I'm a big University of Tennessee baseball fan. That's biased though,
There you go.
because it's my wife's team down there. So
Yeah. Yeah, you
We-
can show a little bias. It's all right.
it's tough. It's tough to follow college sports up in Massachusetts, especially when it comes to like baseball. It's like
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
I
As
just
you
like
know.
fun and interesting stats.
Oh, I do too.
I just like to dig into like fun, interesting stats.
Yeah, we're big on like finding stuff about people that's unique. That's like, well, I didn't know you could, especially if you get guys who can do some unique stuff on the field. It's that you don't see on other teams. It's gonna be fun to cover. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
A good time. So all right, we're gonna like conclude this episode. Coming up, we talked about the Hall of Fame. We got a firsthand experience with Mike here. Everything that went down on the day, how the day went down. What we have to look forward to for the upcoming weeks for the Gulls. And Mike, is there anything else you want to add for this episode? Anything coming up or anything you want to plug? Yeah, you did mention you were doing some pregame interviews. Are those all available on the YouTube page?
We're gonna start interviewing probably some players for this summer coming up shortly here. We'll get those up as soon as we get some of those rolling in. So expect to see those in the next couple of weeks for sure. We're gonna start rolling with that.
What about the pre Hall of Fame interviews that you were doing? Are those up on YouTube?
Those are going to be up shortly.
Okay.
Yes, we're putting the whole event together, and the whole event is going to be up on YouTube soon.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Awesome.
Love
awesome.
it. Love it.
All right. Well, everyone out there, just look forward to Newport Gulls. Season starts where we're in March. 3 more months.
Oof.
Get some baseball here. And actually get some
Let's
high,
get there.
right? So I know it feels like it's a lifetime at this point.
I know.
But before you know it'll be here, and then it'll fly by, and then all of a sudden it'll be snowing again. So that's how it is.
Don't say it like that.
When you look at it that way. But Mike, thanks for joining us on this episode.
Thank you guys.
And we'll have you back very soon. And Adam, anything you want to add?
No, I think it covers everything for this episode, I think.
All right. Well, I'm Adi84. That's Adam Mallett. Mike Basile, media director of the Newport Gulls, joining us tonight. And we'll see you guys next week. Have a good week. Bye.